Is going on, everybody? It's Mark Kalachi, your Austin area realtor here again. In this video, I wanted to go through very quickly, very briefly, a little bit about the actual contract that I will be filling out for you and that we will be submitting to a seller of the house you want to put an offer on. So the contract, it's called the 1 to 4 family residential contract. This is a promulgated form. It is given with permission from the Texas Real Estate Commission. So all realtors are required to use this form to submit an offer for a client on a home. As you can see, there is a lot to it. I'm not going to go through every line by line. If you have questions, give me a shout. I will answer those specific questions for you. But let's just take a brief look at some of the pages as we go through this. In the beginning, obviously, I'm going to put the parties of the contract. That's going to be you, the buyer, and the seller. I'm going to be putting in all the pertinent information regarding the land, the sales price, how much earnest money you're going to be offering. If you have questions about what earnest money is, go watch my earnest money YouTube video. The title policy, that's who is going to be paying for the title policy, you as the buyer or the seller. It's all negotiable. It will just depend on how competitive the house is. If it's a very competitive house we're putting an offer on, you definitely want to pay for the title policy. Otherwise, if it's not a super competitive house, I would recommend we ask the seller to pay for that. Can provide you more info on how much that title policy will cost. If you give me a shout, I can run the numbers for you on a specific home price. Then we're going to talk about the survey. Usually a seller has one to provide, or they may need to provide you a brand new one at their expense, or the buyers. Again, it's negotiable. Then we're going to, there's a lot of other legal documentation that needs to be provided and disclosures, things like that. Property condition, we're going to be either asking the seller to provide us the house as is, or we're going to have some recommendations such as what we expect to be done before you purchase the property. Again, if it's a very competitive property, you do not want to ask for much upfront. What you want to do is wait until we've hooked the seller, we're under contract with them, they've selected our offer for you to be the winning buyer on that house, and then once we have the opportunity to perform inspections on the house, we can follow up and request they do repairs or provide you money towards your closing costs. So just know that if we check the box, buyer accepts property as is, doesn't mean you truly accept the property as is, because we will have the opportunity to go ahead and make some changes to that once we're under contract after the inspection. Then we're going to have the residential contract service. This is where the home warranty comes into play. I'll be putting in an amount approximately $500. We're going to request that the seller gives you a home warranty at their expense, and generally $450 to $500 is going to cover the cost of that. Then we're going to put the closing date. We're going to say generally it's going to be about 30 days from the time we go under contract. Just depends on your lender. We're going to have special provisions. Not really anything going to go in there that's really legal terms that go in there. Usually only lawyers can put stuff in there. It's highly discouraged that you or I put anything in there unless there is something pertinent. I did have a seller financing transaction where legal documentation, things needed to be called out in this section. But other than that, that's not something that needs to be messed with. This section is if the seller is going to provide you money towards your closing costs. Again, always depends on how competitive the house is. If the house is super competitive, we're not going to be requesting any closing cost assistance from the seller up front if we want to win the house. Because in this hot seller's market, when you're competing with 5, 6 other offers, you've got to make your offer the most appealing. Otherwise, the seller's not going to choose you. And I've had buyers lose time and time again on houses because they wouldn't listen to me, depending on how competitive that house was, when they should and should not ask for certain things from a seller in their offer. Then down here, I'm going to provide your information, where you can be contacted for all the documentation that you have to be receiving, your address, your name, your phone number, your email, all the other disclosures that I'll be adding to the contract. The option period, again, I have another video on the option period here. That's contract 23 of the contract, paragraph 23 of the contract. Watch my video on option period on my YouTube channel. If you have an attorney, I'll make sure to deliver a copy of this contract to your attorney for review before we submit it. If not, that's not a problem either. This is something that gets filled out once the seller receives our offer and accepts it. And these are just brokerage informations. The buyer's broker, me helping you as the buyer, and then the seller. That's nothing you have to fill out. And this is what's going to be filled out related to the option and earnest money that takes place after we go under contract. So Very quick high-level overview. Just wanted you to see the 9 pages of the contract. I will be providing this to you when we start working together. If you want it sooner, just give me a shout, reach out to me, and I will get you a copy of it. But yeah, you will be seeing this very soon once we find the house that you love and get ready to make the purchase. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.